14-ounce gloves, it's 2-minute rounds, is it? Is it 2-minute rounds? Who gives a bollocks? I hope Mike rattles the little dope. No one gives a about him.
In a recent live session, MMA star Conor McGregor brutally slammed Jake Paul for fighting an aged Mike Tyson. Meanwhile, Andrew Tate responded to Jake Paul's call out to Conor McGregor and said that Paul is training hard to be a fighter. Tate predicted one of Jake's previous fights and he was spot on.
Jake Paul made the call out video. He disrespected Conor McGregor. Here's the mistake that everybody's making about Jake Paul. Because I put this on my Twitter account. I said Jake Paul's going to finish Askren in 30 seconds. And everyone's like, whoa, Askren's a fighter, blah, blah, this crap. I knew Jake Paul would smoke him because Jake Paul is the person I used to be. He's a cocky, arrogant young man who's training his ass off. You think Jake Paul isn't training? They're like, oh, he's just a YouTuber. He's training with Canelo and Ryan Garcia. The guy is training his ass off. He's not running his mouth to people without training. He's getting in there to win.
Many people still believe that Mike Tyson is not going to fight Jake Paul, but Tyson reassured all of his fans that the fight is definitely happening.
Is this fight happening or not? It's happening, we're all here. How prepared are you to knock Jake Paul out? I'm very prepared.
Conor McGregor even went so far as to verbally abuse Jake Paul in an interview and called him a donkey who kicks well.
No, I fancy him for it, to be honest. I fancy a man's a bit windy. The other cat's a bit windy. Yeah. You know, so, but he's a... The guy's a cat. Yeah. What's a donkey's a kick as well. So you just got to be worried of that. So
Tyson will be 58 when he fights Paul, who is 31 years younger, in a one-off match that will be streamed live on Netflix. Despite rumors, fueled by Derek Chisora, that they will wear headgear, Paul and his team insist this won't happen. They want the fight to be a professional one in Dallas, Texas. Tyson looks to be in great shape, judging by videos he shared of his training, but the health warnings show he should think about wearing headgear and might be wrong to agree to Paul's demands. Dr. Stephen Hughes, who is a senior lecturer in medicine at Anglia Ruskin University, wrote that Tyson also risks heart muscle scarring, which can cause heart failure and, in the most extreme cases, sudden death. Dr. Stephen commented, "In older people, the brain tends to lose volume. This lengthens the bridging veins and makes them more vulnerable to rupture. Alcoholism is known to accelerate brain shrinkage, and it appears that Tyson has this as a past risk factor." Meanwhile, Jake Paul completely dismissed the statements of him wearing a headgear and said that it will be a disgrace for his fans. Paul shared, "Just a quick message to the people who are complaining about the rules of me versus Mike Tyson. Some TikToker user made a video making up all these fake rules like me and Logan tag teaming him, us wearing headgear, all of this. If you believe that you're idiot and you shouldn't be allowed to vote, you shouldn't be allowed to drive on the streets and endanger other people. I feel for any who believes that, and I would never let my fans down in a fight like this and wearing headgear. Come on now, people." Meanwhile, Jake Paul's famous hater from the MMA, Michael Bisping, slammed Jake Paul for fighting a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, claiming that he can't knock him out.
A 58-year-old Mike Tyson. This is a lose-lose situation. If he beats Mike Tyson, God forbid he even knocks out Mike Tyson, that's just a move. It's like when Vitor Belfort went up against Evander Holyfield. You'd have to be a certain level of piece of shit to really go and try and knock this man out.
After watching their recent press conference, Bisping took to his YouTube channel to rip at the 27-year-old for pushing ahead with the fight against Tyson. "Jake, I hate to point out the obvious. That makes you look pathetic. You just admitted that you're going up against an old man, who is a legend of course, but he's not that guy anymore." Many fans booed Jake Paul at the New York press conference, and Michael Bisping supported the whole concept. "Jake Paul, he's just a tool bag. I'm not gonna lower myself and swear. Look at him. It's nice to see that he's finally getting booed and the kind of response that he deserves." Michael Bisping got a taste of his own medicine when he received some very demeaning messages from Jake Paul.
I have been on the receiving end of many an abusive direct message from Jake Paul. I could show you so many of them. Just the other day, out the blue, he says, "How do Dana's nuts taste?" And I said, how did Tommy Fury's amateur uppercut taste? He said, I'm 26 and I made more in that amateur fight than your whole career. Now you're on your knees gobbling nuts and calling slap fights. You don't have the courage to stand up for fighters, blah, 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 blah.
On the other hand, Jake Paul has made another hater, and he is none other than the UFC champion Conor McGregor. In a recent live session, McGregor openly slammed Jake Paul for fighting an old and great Mike Tyson.
Thoughts on Tyson, Jake Paul? I actually have Mike Tyson's marijuana. I'm going to show love to Mike Tyson. Give us in the Mike Tyson Kush. This is Mike Tyson Kush, yeah, straight from his farm. I had someone go out and grab it for us, yeah? Mike Tyson, this is your stock. Don't give a bollocks. They're wearing 14-ounce gloves. It's 2-minute rounds, is it? Is it 2-minute rounds? Who gives a bollocks? I hope Mike rattles the little dope. No one gives a about him. How is that even in Dallas Stadium? What's going on?
Conor claimed that nobody cared about the event and questioned how it was taking place at such a massive stadium. He paid tribute to the legendary fighter, taking the time to smoke some of his brand of marijuana on camera. But he wasn't so complimentary about Paul, declaring that he was not somebody of note in the fight game. For someone who claims not to care about the fight, McGregor appeared to have a clear grasp on the unorthodox rule set and location, and just moments later he seemed to contradict himself, saying that he loved to see it, and that after Tyson overcame a recent health issue, he was looking forward to it. And Paul took full advantage of the publicity he gained from the fight being mentioned, quickly releasing his own parody video. His comedic video was viewed over 2 million times across X and Instagram, and showed him dressed in a black shirt like McGregor.
Thoughts on Tyson, Jake Paul? Who gives a bollocks?
Nobody gives a bollocks.
No one gives a about him.
Nobody gives a about that lad.
I hope Mike rattles the little dope.
I hope Tyson fucking cracks that lad.
How is that even in the fucking Dallas Stadium?
How the fuck did they even get a stadium?
This is Mike Tyson Kush, yes.
This is Tyson weed. Tyson weed.
There's no one doing it like me. Nobody.
I'm still the king of this shit, right? I'm the king of this shit, right?
He captioned the post, "Conor McGregor's crash out needs to be studied." In the short video, Paul can be seen mimicking the Irishman's methods and movements, while repeating his lines in a terrible Irish accent. It seems like Jake Paul is making new enemies by each passing day. Eddie Hearn from Matchroom filed a lawsuit against Jake Paul, and it doesn't seem like Paul is complying. Hearn is seeking damages in excess of $100 million after Jake accused Matchroom of paying Judge Glenn Feldman in 2022. Eddie Hearn calls it sad that 58-year-old Tyson might fight Jake Paul, risking a loss, all for money.
And Mike Tyson's one of my favourite fighters of all time, but it's a big event, you know. But I find it quite sad that someone that's achieved as much as Mike Tyson is fighting at, what's he, 58, 50, something like that, and could lose to Jake Paul, But money's money, and money does strange things.
Hearn discussed the possibility of Jake Paul fighting Mike Tyson, expressing his reservations about this matchup. As a hardcore boxing fan, he admits that he wouldn't have wanted to see this fight, even though Tyson is one of his favorite fighters. While he acknowledges the significant media attention and spectacle this event brings, he feels uneasy about the idea of Tyson stepping into the ring at nearly 60 years old. Reflecting on his thoughts from years past, Hearn states that he wouldn't have supported such a fight primarily due to the stark difference in their ages and career stages. Despite recognizing the entertainment value it holds for fans and the general public, Hearn emphasizes his discomfort with the notion of Tyson competing against a much younger opponent like Jake Paul. This sentiment highlights the concerns surrounding the potential risks involved in the fight. Similarly, Oscar De La Hoya shared his concerns, hoping Tyson stays safe in the ring at 57 years old, going up against a tough opponent like Jake Paul.
Is that good or bad for boxing if Jake finds a way to knock him out, get along, beat him?
I think it'll be. I think it'll be sad for Tyson. You know, I'm not sure how or which way it affects boxing, because I think a lot of eyeballs are going to be watching, and it's like they say, right? I mean, hey, it's like good media or bad media, it's still media, right? Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, I just feel that. I mean, I grew up with Tyson, so it's to me, it's like, man, you know, hopefully stay safe up there.
Jake Paul came off of a knockout victory against the bare-knuckle champion Mike Perry. Paul completely battered the poor Mike Perry and made him quit in the 6th round. Jake commented on what it does for his legacy to be fighting Mike Tyson. He astoundingly said that people never give him credit for his wins, but that is just the way it is. Jake mockingly responded to the haters, "I was walking on water, they would say it's because I couldn't swim, and this is to make history, you know, people think I'm gonna get knocked out by this strong, powerful guy." During a press conference at Fanatics Fest NYC, Paul drew a bold comparison between himself and the legendary Muhammad Ali, stating, "I proved everyone wrong. Reminder, the most hated and most criticized boxer in the sport of boxing before they loved them was Muhammad Ali." He emphasized his role as the sport's anti-hero, confident that fans will eventually appreciate his contributions to boxing. Paul stated his desire to fight Canelo. "I still want Canelo Alvarez, and I want to go on the path to world championship. And when it happens, people are gonna go, God damn, that kid did something we didn't." Speaking of Canelo, Conor McGregor has also openly challenged Canelo Alvarez and said that he would have no problem beating the Mexican champion. McGregor made these statements as he was present on the ringside of AJ versus Dubois fight.
I'm a southpaw, Ryder was a southpaw, Billy Joe was a southpaw. Yeah. I've seen methods, I've seen things I do, and I know he's waning. I'd fight Canelo, no problem, yeah? That was straight, no.
On the other hand, UFC CEO Dana White gave Conor McGregor a brutal warning and said that he shouldn't even think of fighting Canelo Alvarez. These statements come from White after witnessing Canelo's tremendous power against Edgar Berlanga. Meanwhile,
I did want to ask you, Conor has been talking about a possible boxing match with Canelo, which seemed surprising. I mean, is there something that you would even discuss?
Is that what he said tonight?
Yeah, well, he said it this week. He's just like the greatest pound-for-pound MMA fighter, the greatest pound-for-pound boxer.
I watched the Canelo fight tonight. He don't want to fight Canelo.
Jake Paul was adamant at making history and cementing his name in boxing. Paul stated, "This is to make history. All the people in my comments say, look at his power, he's gonna get KO'd, but you got to risk it for the biscuit. That's the name of the game. I'm here to fight one of the most dangerous men in all of boxing." For almost a year, Jake has been calling out Alvarez, the unified super middleweight champion. As soon as Paul won his previous fight with Ryan Borland by first round TKO, he was back at it. "I'm ready for the big leagues. I'm getting sharp. This is my life now. Like I said, I'm on the road to world champion. And Alvarez, stop ducking. I know you want it." There appeared to be some hope in May when Canelo Alvarez told reporters of a bout with Jake Paul. "Maybe in 2 years we can talk. Fighting a 57-year-old Tyson is the vehicle to a massive payday, but fighting Canelo would offer Paul full credibility as a pro boxer and a chance to fight for what he contends is his goal, winning a world championship. In addition, of course, that would require Alvarez's cooperation. Canelo Alvarez voiced his concern on the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight and showed no interest in the matchup. Not at all. I think it's more show than a fight. At this point, I'm not interested in that kind of fight. Alvarez said that Netflix is good for boxing, but doing something wrong with its involvement in the Tyson-Paul fight. Canelo Alvarez once again shunned Jake Paul for continually calling him out. "My level is another level. Look, I think he needs to enjoy what he's doing, and that's it. He needs to calm down and start calling out people with other levels. He's doing good things." Furthermore, the 45-year-old Michael Bisping hurled a bunch of insults at Paul, who claims to want to face Canelo Alvarez and win a boxing world title while pursuing fights with old men. Bisping added, "You are a joke. You are a disgrace to the combat world. You're an imposter. You're a wannabe. You're a fake. Challenge yourself, you pathetic man. You pathetic individual. Fighting is about challenging yourself. Granted, business. Killing it in that regard, but don't give me this fighter. That's what gets on my nerves." Additionally, Mike Tyson's former opponent, Evander Holyfield, offers some advice to Jake Paul. Holyfield declared that if Paul stays close to Tyson, then his chance of winning could be phenomenal.
"Well, I tell you what could happen. Yeah. Of course, you know, it's with the confidence the other guy. I don't know how much confidence that Jake Paul have in all this, but you know he's gonna be a lot quicker. And if he stay close to Mike, then his chance of winning gonna be great.
Evander fought and beat Tyson in 96 and 97, winning the WBA heavyweight world title by stoppage in the first, and then infamously retained it in the rematch when Tyson was disqualified for biting his ear. Holyfield broke things down when discussing why distance alone won't do the trick against Tyson's aggression. He warned Jake Paul to not give enough room to Mike Tyson. He said, "Mike is like a snake. He'll pop out on you. He will get there too quick. Paul is going to smother him because every time Tyson pushes off his legs." The four-time heavyweight champion finally added, "Everybody gets knocked out going backwards. If you give him room, you're gonna be messed up." Thus, being on the back foot while Iron Mike goes to him may lead Jake Paul to get knocked out. But even with Holyfield's heads up, it seems like Paul's already got his game plan locked in and he's going all in. After getting warned by many pros, Tyson didn't turn his back on Jake Paul. During the podcast with Jake Paul's brother Logan Paul, he declared that he's ready for the fight, and anyone who thinks he's not ready or too old for the fight should come and say that to his face. He stated, "If you think I'm too old for this fight, come and tell it to my face." Do you think Jake Paul can win against Mike Tyson? Will age play a part in this fight, or is Mike Tyson just that strong? We would love to hear your thoughts. Let us know in the comments section below and subscribe for more content like this.